Hi everyone, welcome back to Be Rich. What, Shashwath? You have something interesting for us? I heard you read something in the news.
Yeah, so this is about bankruptcy rates and bankruptcy, especially in corporates, not private individuals.
Okay.
And if you look at the global trend, uh, regardless of whether central bank rates have peaked or not, we see an increase in corporate rates, and it's going to get tougher from here because it takes a lot of time for the economy to react to macroeconomic conditions.
True.
So even if the Fed signals a dovish stance, that doesn't necessarily imply that the economy will immediately jolt back up.
Correct.
And the Fed has only said that they're going to be watchful about this. It's not that it's going to go into a complete dovish stance.
Yeah, because Fed also feels the American stock market is still highly overvalued.
Yes, and it's the American stock market is actually trading at a P of somewhere close to 22.
Yeah.
So the S&P 500.
Yeah, that's a big concern for them.
And Dow Jones is trading at 27, close to 27 or so.
Correct.
And NASDAQ.
Pretty much, it's like the market doesn't care what the Fed is doing.
Yeah. And they just needed some news from the Fed for a dovish stance, and Jerome Powell gave them the news and it went back up.
Correct.
But regardless, let's talk about the corporate bankruptcies because these are the
Because
ones.
it's like a harbinger of things to come.
Yeah.
What Charlie was talking about before he left us.
Yeah. Right. So US bankruptcy rates have risen by 30% over the past quarter. And that's quite alarming because you have the companies which end up going belly up first are the smaller ones.
Yes.
The big ones always make the news, but the small ones never make the news. They're more of the silent deaths.
Yes.
Because you don't hear the pain unless you know them personally. And I'm sure a lot of you in India who have friends who are business owners might have heard horror stories over the past few years on how their businesses went belly up, especially in the MSME industry.
True.
Medium to small enterprises. But I digress. Coming back to US corporate bankruptcies, it's risen by 30%. And it's not just the US. Germany, the leader of the EU.
The powerhouse.
Bankruptcies have risen by 25%. And EU insolvency rates have risen by 13%. So you have numbers which are pointing upwards in terms of bankruptcy, downwards in terms of your economy. So all over the developed world, you have signs of trouble. And there's even more signs of trouble because you have zombie companies which have come up because of your decade of very low interest rates.
Yeah.
And would you like to quickly define zombie companies for the...
Zombies companies are nothing but like a shell. There's nothing inside them. There's really no business happening.
Yeah.
They're pretty much used as a bucket to funnel things through back and forth. And India is also very famous for having zombie companies. Anand had spoken about that in a video, how RBI has tightened the rules behind borrowing and lending to get rid of, at least try and control the NPAs which are coming, because corporates were famously using zombie companies to leverage and borrow more money and cycle debt. What this zombie company will do is the main company has debt, but they're not able to pay the interest. So they'll create a zombie company which will borrow money from another bank, funnel it back to this company which will pay the interest, and keep in a rotation. More zombies will come up like this, which really don't do anything. So this is what a zombie company is.
Yeah. So it's basically a company that's supposed to be dead but undead.
Yeah.
In a sense, because they're artificially keeping it alive.
Yeah. On life support.
Yeah,
on paper.
Through very low interest rates.
Yeah.
So this is the definition of zombie companies, and zombie companies are the first on the chopping block.
Yeah.
So when you have signs of higher interest rates, it's a pretty bad sign for them because they're always leveraged up to the hilt. So when you have even a single drop of water, or the proverbial straw that broke the camel's back, you basically have the camel collapse and disintegrate, which is what is happening to these companies. And they're the first on the chopping block. But it's not just your zombie companies. It's also companies which companies which are in industries which require leverage. So which industry might I be talking about? I'm definitely talking about the real estate industry and property market.
Okay.
And for a change, we're not going to be talking about the Indian property market.
No. We're talking about residential property market. We're talking about commercial.
Yeah. And this is to the relief. Actually, you'd be surprised that even residential is not doing so well, but we'll get to that. But to the relief of most of you, we're not going to talk about the Indian property market. Yeah. And let's talk about Germany. So Germany has had a huge basically slowdown happening in their country. And over these 3 quarters, economic output has actually gone down by 0.1% compared to the past 3 months,
Yes.
which is a sign of troubling times for them.
Yes.
And if you look at the Jan to October period, their residency permit rate, or rather the amount of residency permit grants and applications made, have fallen by 26%. And their GDP is going to contract for a second time in a row in terms of the quarters.
Yes.
So in quarter 4, it's going to contract again, supposedly. And that's not a great sign for them. And moreover, if you look at residential prices alone, the amount of residential houses constructed have gone down by all the way from 25% to 50%, depending on
Very
which
true.
kind of home you're talking about.
Yes, Germany, yes, residential houses, there's a huge contraction in construction.
Yeah. So, and house prices fell by 10%
Yes.
overall.
Yes.
So this,
Across the board.
Across the board. And some of you might say, okay, house prices fell, they corrected. Okay, what? How does that affect us? The thing is, it's a domino effect. If you have a certain asset which falls in price, then immediately the bank might demand more collateral against property, and you may not have that ability to do
because
so.
they give you certain amount of money, assuming what you've given as a collateral against that, is valued at this much.
Yeah.
Suddenly the value drops, so that means they want more collateral to secure that loan.
Yeah.
Otherwise, interest rates might go up, or they might even recall the loan, saying, "You cannot able to give us more collateral, then please close the loan."
Repossess your property.
Yeah, repossess or close the loan.
Yeah. And it's quite scary, because think about this. Your job is under fire because you have these corporate bankruptcies which are happening. And at the same time, your collateral value falls down on your property and they ask you for more money. How are you supposed to make ends meet then? This is quite a troubling sign for them.
Yeah. And the thing about this real estate property price collapsing is it's all on paper, meaning you do not know what your property is worth.
Yeah.
When you go to the bank to apply for the loan, they'll tell you it's worth so much. You're very happy. Then when they say the market is contracted, it's corrected, and your property price is down by 10%, it's not like there's someone who's offering to buy it or sell it or anything. The bank decides. So as you as a consumer of the loan, you do not know. And this comes upon you creeping up suddenly. You don't even realize. It's not like there's a ticker on side your house is slowly going down by 1%, 0.5%, and suddenly now it's down by 10%.
Yes.
You just suddenly get a call from the bank and a letter from the bank, and it's down 10%.
Right. And you're getting squeezed from both ends over here.
Yeah.
And it's not really a great time to be in the Eurozone.
Yes.
And the funny thing is, it's not just Germany. Germany is the biggest player, of course. But if you actually look at the Eurozone overall, as an aggregate, their output has actually gone down quite a bit. Economic output. You have a few outliers here and there which are doing okay. But by and by, your European Union is not doing so well. Especially their leader is not doing so well.
Correct.
And
yeah. So the reason why we brought this up is it is kind of like telling you about what Charlie, before he left us, what he was talking about broadly, that 2025 is going to be a very tough year. And we're getting into 2024 now. You can see the COVID era stipends which were given and all the aid which was given has dried up. All the revenue streams have dried up. These zombie companies which were cropping up at the time of free cash are now all slowly starting to flitter away. And you're seeing big companies, small companies, which are actually valuable companies, starting to get affected in Germany, which is a powerhouse of European economy, which has always been historically. And you can see this happening in the US. Bankruptcy rates going up in corporate sectors. So it's a trickle. Now, will this happen in a huge seismic level? I do not know. Shashwath doesn't know. How far will it go? We don't know.
we hope it's not a seismic.
Yeah. So, but it is something to keep an eye on, and something which you should track as an investor, because sometimes you will see opportunities. Sometimes some of your investments might be in danger. So do keep an eye out and keep following the news going forward. That's what we wanted to share with you.
Yeah. And there's just an interesting phenomenon I'd like to highlight about the 10% fall in housing prices. Because even if you're in a financially secure position where you're able to meet your loan, but if your neighbor is unable to meet the loan and he has to sell his property, his value gets actualized and your property now gets valued based on that.
Correct.
And your position gets weakened because of that.
Correct.
So even if you were strong to begin with, your neighbor not being able to pay his dues might mean that you at some point down the line won't be able to pay your dues.
Correct. Because you get painted with the same broad brush.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching the video. I hope you found it informative and entertaining as always. And we'll see you in the next one soon. Bye.
Thank you.
So after Kuwait, my team has decided to do an event in Trivandrum. Those who are desirous of meeting me in Trivandrum can contact our team at trivandrummp@gmail.com, the mail ID given below, or the WhatsApp number given below. My team would fill in you with the details. The event would be in January 2024. It's a great privilege and honor that so many of you in thousands have subscribed to my channel and have supported me. I have written 2 books in English, The Alchemy of Money and Ordinary Stocks, Extraordinary Profits. These books are published by us and are ready. If you want to procure a copy, send us a message to the WhatsApp number given below and my team would respond to you. If you want an Amazon Kindle copy, you can click the link below. Finally, those who wish to consult with me can send a mail to berichenglish@gmail.com. Once again, I thank you for your support. If you like this video, press the subscribe button of my channel, hit the like button and turn on the bell notification.